I was looking around at the end of that kirtan, and I was sitting there looking, going, I want to get Nadia a goat necklace. I feel like you are the goat. Just so that you remember, whenever you're feeling unsure about yourself, you should remember you are the goat. Greatest of all time. She's not actually a goat. She's an Aries, it's a ram, but she's also the greatest of all time. I got a little emotional at the end of that kirtan because I was looking around and I was watching people actively face their fears and insecurities and their hang-ups, and it touched me so deeply to my core. Has anyone felt anything incredibly uncomfortable during the course of this holy name immersion?
Yes.
Show of hands. There's only 12 brave ones who are willing to admit that it's been uncomfortable. And that's only day 2. But it's not the fact that we are facing uncomfortable things that makes me emotional. It's the fact that you all have stayed through all the uncomfortability, through everything that your mind might be challenging you with. Maybe your body is challenging you with things. Maybe your heart is challenging you with things. Maybe all kinds of things are being challenged and brought up. And it was a very adorable example. But when it comes up, he has to make it lighter than what is really happening, because otherwise we would never come back to these holy name immersions. But really what's coming up is, it feels like poison. Yeah? No? Yeah? A little bit? Thank you. I will say that it often feels like poison to me. And it seems to start choking you right up in here, in this throat area. It really tends to get you. It's the ego is rubbed the wrong way, and so many things. All the things are happening. We're in a new place. We are with new people. We are constantly sharing a lot of space with these new people. And I don't know how many of us are actually taking time to go back to our rooms and really decompress. I don't know how many of you actually can, depending upon if you're in a shared room. It might be a little strange to go back to your room and decompress and like wail in agony at the end of the evening. You go, ah! But do what works. I realized something incredibly cool this morning. Just stay with me, please. I was in the shower, and I hum all the time, especially the more nervous I am, the more I hum. And I was testing out if my voice was working today or not. And so I hummed in the shower, and it somehow found the frequency of the porcelain in the shower. And so I said, and the whole shower said, and I was like, oh, this is the coolest thing I've ever done. And so I did it about 5-6 more times. And I can only imagine what the people in the next room think is happening. Because it sounds a little bit almost like a conch shell when you find the right resonant tone. But I realized that that's what my spiritual life is like. Number one, I have to get to the place that has the right frequency. And then I have to find that right frequency. But the minute that I find it, it amplifies everything that I'm doing. And then I'm not just working on the strength of my own voice, my own effort. Because I guarantee you, my hum was really just hum. And the whole thing reverberated. And I was just like, wow, this is incredible. It's like thinking about sound theory and the whole thing at 5 a.m. But really, this is kind of indicative of what this Holy Name Immersion is doing for all of us. We're in a situation and it might feel outside of our comfort zone, but if we stay in it, because it only works in the shower, so we've got to find the right place. And you should all try this in your showers. Try it. And you might not find the right note at first, but just play around. And eventually it will resonate, and then you'll find the right pitch, and then do it a couple more times. It's a really cool experiment. Come tell me tomorrow how it worked out. Do it, please. Right? But it impressed upon me so much how my effort is one really small drop in the ocean of what's really happening here. I put in one small hum of effort, and then Krishna takes over and makes it reverberate throughout a whole room. So just the fact that we've all stayed, I guarantee you, is enough effort. I was speaking to so many people today. People are afraid to sing. People are afraid to dance. People are afraid to do all these things. And I'm looking around at the end of Nadia's Kirtan, and no one looks afraid. And I just spoke to all of you people 2 hours ago. And I know for a fact you all told me that you were afraid. And that did not look like what was happening here. And so, congratulations, it's working. Your efforts aren't going in vain. It's not like I went and endured this whole soul surgery, and then what did I get at the end of it? It's working. And sometimes we miss the rewards because we're so caught up in the glass is overflowing. Where is all this water going? Who is going to carry the tin out? Like, we don't have a Gaur Krishna and Prahlad Nrsimha to come and help us and carry the tin out after we've emptied out the contents of our entire souls. And who is going to clean up the coffee that has spilled? And are all the other devotees going to judge me because my soul is filled with coffee? How do I make sure that they never find out that there was coffee in there to begin with? So sometimes we're missing what's actually happening because we're so caught up in the minute details. And we don't have to be afraid of any of that. We can understand that it's working. And so I think I have to give you all a round of applause because what you're doing is incredibly brave. I'll say again, I'm a New Yorker, so that was really lame for applauding for yourselves. I'm going to need all of you to celebrate yourselves a little bit more than that, a lot a bit more than that. Let's try again, shall we? I'm gonna give you all a, yeah! Woo-hoo! Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for trusting all of us. Thank you for sticking with us through whatever happens. Because I guarantee you, some of us have gotten on your nerves. And you're being really nice about tolerating us. But I know what's happened. It's bound to happen. Whenever we get people together, that's what's naturally going to happen. That we can expect. But also, the moment we decide to say, fine, I'll give it one more try, that gets Krishna's attention. God says, oh wait, oh you really want to get in touch? Okay, let's see what collaborations we can do, what magic can happen now. So I encourage you all, find me if you can. Let's share a word, get to know each other, because we're sharing some really vulnerable, deep experiences. And what I really appreciate about Sachinandan Maharaj is what we're going through right now is very intense, but I promise you, at the end, he won't leave you raw and just feeling left open and exposed. He really likes to close up an immersion so that it's like surgery. If the surgeon left your stomach cavity open, it'd be a really irresponsible surgeon, and we would never trust them again. But I trust Sachinandan Maharaj because he doesn't do that. He tries to sew up all the loose ends, tie up all the doubts and the questions, and leave us at least a little better than we came. So as intense as it feels right now, I promise you it's going to get better. We're getting over that hill. And it is an experience that everyone has to go through. So we might feel as though, why is this only happening to me? But as many hands were raised in the room, it's not happening to just any one of us. It's happening to all of us. Everyone included. There is something that will agitate us at any given moment. And so sometimes when Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita speaks about tolerating happiness and distress, I've started to wonder if maybe he meant that we just stay with faith through both. Maybe we don't leave. Maybe we don't close up and shy away. Maybe we make the decision to keep our heart open for just one more day, even as scary and tentative and vulnerable and exposed as it feels. But just know that everybody is just as exposed as you are, just as vulnerable as you are. And if I'm looking at you, it's not because I think that you're exposed and vulnerable, it's just because I feel like you're looking at me and paying attention, and that feels nice. So please know that it's not just you. It's not just me. It's all of us. And I think a big thing that can come up in a holy name immersion that I really wanted to talk about and kind of gather this kirtan around is the idea of ooh, but it's sun raining. The idea of we can come into situations like this, and all of a sudden we feel confronted by our own ideas of judgment, envy, shame, like really, really deep, heavy emotions. And wow.
Heavy rain, heavy emotions.
Thank you. But we can get confronted by some really intensely heavy emotions. And a natural question to ask is, what does God think of those emotions? And this morning, during the japa session, I said, there's nothing that we can't go to Krishna with. And it's very fun for me to say that. It sounds really cute when Acyuta Gopi says it, but you've been in this movement for what, like 39 years now? I'm a proud card-carrying member of the Krishna consciousness movement. But what does that mean for real life and real people? And what does God really think of those heavy emotions? Well, the good news is that those emotions are expected. They're expected. It's not as though you can surprise Krishna with your emotion. Like, these emotions are not new. It's not like, you know what, Lord? I've come in contact with new levels of shame and envy that no one has ever accessed before. How about now? Do you still accept me? He's not at all surprised. And in fact, all of these emotions have some tinge of origin, even within the Supreme Person. So why in the world would he ever reject you for feeling something that he knows that he himself has given to every soul? So I urge you, when those feelings come up, tell Nitai. He's really, 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 really good with all of those because he's incredibly unconventional. So we started with yesterday talking about how Nitai came into my life, but I kind of want to continue with all of the best things that Nitai can do for your lives. Because I feel like he belongs to all of us. Not mine particularly, please leave him here. But in a picture, take a photo. He belongs to all of you, digitally. And Nitai was so unconventional and judged for it, heavily. He was wandering like a sannyasi. And sannyasis looked more like Satchidananda Swami. Very renounced. Nitai, they would say that sannyasis are never supposed to touch gold or silver. Nitai would have rings of gold and silver and diamonds on every finger and toe. And it was causing an uproar. And sannyasis also, they often carry a staff, but their staff it's wooden, which really makes them sound like really cool magicians. And that's how I like to think of them. It's like Gandalf, but way cooler. Nitai's staff, however, was like copper-plated, gold underneath, all of these things. So like flashy. He would never dress like the typical renunciate. He roamed everywhere doing whatever he wanted. And everyone, they would ask, what kind of renunciate are you? You go and you speak to everyone, you do anything. He went to Vrindavan and he spent a lot of time in Vrindavan, and what he did in Vrindavan was he would lovingly chase the young children in Vrindavan, threatening to beat them. So they're like, what kind of renunciate are you? Yeah. And in response to their ridicule and their questions, Nitai would laugh. That was often Nitai's response to a lot of things. They'd ask, like, what kind of religion are you preaching or practicing? He's like, and then he would walk away. It's not even answering any of the questions. What kind of person is this? And you're telling me that this is the Supreme Person? I mean, yeah. And finally, one day, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Nitai, I have a mission for you. And Nitai would only ever listen to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Loads of people would get him to try and do many, 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 many things. He had a traveling preaching partner. His name was Haridas. Haridas was a typical renunciate, extremely typical. He chanted all the japa, literally all the japa. He chanted 300,000 names, all the japa, which is somewhere around, 192 rounds? Please don't try that at home. These are trained professionals, please. And so they would travel together and they would preach and go door to door. And sometimes Nitai would see people bathing at the river. And he would see a young girl and he'd look at her and he'd say, "You're a very nice young girl." And she'd say, "Thank you." And he'd say, "Do you want to marry me?" She's like, "What are you talking about? That is not how you approach somebody. Like, this is completely backwards." And she would go get her parents and complain to her parents. And the parents would show up and Nitai would be gone and Haridas is still there. And the parents are now asking Haridas, where is this person? Haridas, "I apologize on behalf of my friend. He's very restless and very unconventional, but I promise he means well." He would sometimes go and steal dairy products from unsuspecting villagers. He would sometimes go and jump into the Ganga. Has anybody been to the Ganga? Yeah? She's pretty strong, yeah? So he's jumping into the Ganga. Haridas is calling, "Nitai, come back. What are you doing? Come back." And then he would go and wrestle crocodiles. Why are you like this? "Nitai, come back." And then sometimes, in order to come back, he would play dead and float until the current brought him back. Completely inexplicable, unexplainable. I say this not to confuse you, but to give us all hope that no matter how weird you are, I guarantee you Nitai has been more weird than that. And he embraces your weirdness. Use it as a service. So he would embrace these wrestling crocodiles and going back and doing all of these things. And he would walk past a tavern. And there would be people who would be drunk. And they'd start to really look at Nitai. And Nitai would start to look at them. And Haridas is thinking, no. But Nitai is thinking, yes. Those are the people that he wants to engage in chanting the holy name. And so finally, Haridas, he goes to complain to some of the senior members of their community. And one very elder, wonderful Brahmin, Advaita Acharya, like professor for the whole everyone, the whole community of Vaishnavas. And so he's calling me, Haridas is like, can you help me? Because he's too restless and it's gonna kill me. I'm older. Nitai was around 32 years old. And Haridas was older and he said, "I really need assistance. Can I have another partner? Can I go out with someone else? He's attracting intoxicated people and all kinds of things. What am I supposed to do?" And Advaita laughs. He's like, "Why are you laughing at my pain?" He says, "Well, Nitai is completely intoxicated with love for God. What do you expect? Of course he's going to attract other intoxicated people. The best thing you can do is stick with it and learn from it. Somehow or other, he will be the one to show how extremely potent Sri Chaitanya's mercy is." In fact, our acharyas say that the name Nitai means take this, because he's always giving the holy name. Take it. We hear that we should be more humble than the straw in the street, considering one's lower than the straw in the street. And that one was always a little bit difficult for me to grasp, because the straw in the street is, okay, first of all, we don't see that a lot in New York. There's not a lot of straw in the street. But the only places where there are straw in the street is where there are horse carriages. And so I'm always like, that straw in the street? Can I be lower than a different straw in a different street? A nicer street. But Nitai would take straw between his teeth, begging people, because it's a sign of humility. God is begging you, please. I don't care how weird you are. I don't care how much you think you don't fit in. I don't care about any of it. Just chant the holy name. Even at the risk to his own health detriment. There were two incredibly murderous, horrible, drunken people. And they threatened Nitai, and they hit him in the head with an earthen clay pot. And it caused him to bleed. And Nitai thought, it doesn't matter. None of that matters. If you just chant the holy name once with some feeling, I promise you, I will fix everything. Lord Chaitanya got incredibly angry. But Nitai vouched for the both of them. I can vouch for them. They're not that bad, seriously. How many of us would be willing, like say, and this can happen in New York. Say you're walking along and preaching. This happened to somebody I know. And they were on traveling Sankirtan, singing in the streets, and somebody walked up to them and punched them in the eye. His name is Nityananda Chandra, oddly enough. And he is also a very open-minded soul. And I asked him, I was like, well, what did you do? He's like, I don't know, I just felt really, really blissful. Like, wow, this is like what happened to Nitai. And I was like, and that is why you are a perfect person to preach the glories of the holy name. How many of us, though, would really be willing to stay with someone, to offer them the gift that we've all been cultivating here? We've been cultivating this gift, hard won too. Like, we are fighting some intense internal battles. And then to go and have the wherewithal, the fortitude of our spirit to give it to someone else, even if we are insulted in the process. It's incredible. If someone doesn't want to give me prasadam one day, I'm like, that's it. I'm done. I'll be in my room. There'll be no more kirtan. Don't call me next year. And that's nothing. It's absolutely nothing. And we often, as Kirtaniyas, think, we have it so hard. Oh, we have to do so many things. We've got all these stuff and organizers and this. Nitai was doing it all. And he never kept any of the hard feelings. That is what it looks like to have a heart on fire for God. Not holding on to any of the hurt feelings at all. And so one day, Lord Chaitanya says to Nitai, I have a special mission for you. Nitai says, what is it? He says, I want you to get married. Nitai says, I've been a sannyasi all this time, and you want me to get married? What will people say about me? They'll question my whole character. What am I supposed to do? He said, no, I need you to get married because I had to become a renunciate. And I now need you to go and continue to preach to all the people that I cannot preach to. There are so many people that I am no longer allowed to connect with. I need you to go and connect with them. And in order to do that, I need you to go and get married. And Nitai says, so be it. Whatever you have ever asked of me, I will always do. But he also tells Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he says, as God, I feel like you just like to trouble your own people. Anybody ever feel like that? Like once you become, the closer you get to God, the more You feel like, why are you doing this to me? So Nitai also says, I feel like you just like to trouble your own people. But because you've asked, I can never refuse you anything. So be it. And so against public scorn and judgment, Nitai goes and he gets married. He has a family, children. Very, very cool. His children are really cool. It's for another day. But his entire family becomes so wonderful. And I feel like at any given moment, we can make the choice to become part of Nitai's family. If you are unconventional, good, because he loves that. He's very experienced in how to deal with the unconventional. And no matter what questions or doubts or anything that we have going on in our mind, Nitai's answer would usually be, yes, we'll answer that later, but for now, just chant the holy name. Somehow chant with all your heart. And I promise the answer will come. Yeah, later. But just for now, chant the holy name. And so I feel like that has been a driving point for me during this holy name immersion, when all the rough things come up, when the poison bubbles up to the surface and we have no idea what to do with it. I tell myself, yeah, I'll get an answer for that later. But for now, can I just chant the holy name with all my heart? Knowing that Nitai is always there with me, with all of us. I guarantee you, wherever you go from this point on, because you have been introduced to Nitai, he will follow you around. Just accept it. Let it happen. But it will be the best experience that you will ever have. So thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for making the choice, whether you knew it or not, to become attached to Nitai and to let him be attached to you. Because once he's attached to somebody, he never, ever lets go. Ever. And the best thing we could ever do is to grab hold of Nitai. He's a really cool conductor, very snazzy dresser. He's like an awesome superhero. So I feel like I was trying to think of tunes that make me feel victorious or less shameful or whatever. So I'm going to try it. We'll see how much voice I have left. And if I don't have any voice, congratulations. You've all graduated from the Kirtan workshop. You didn't know you were taking Kirtan workshop? Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
They say that when you start practicing and taking your spirituality very seriously, you declare war on material nature. And I sometimes feel as though material nature was also known as Durga Devi. Does anybody know who Durga Devi is? Many of us? Yeah? She is a fierce goddess. Many weapons. And she's in charge of this material energy. She has more weapons than I feel like I have, because I have no weapons. But I do have the weapon of the holy name. I've got the... No. I have the weapon of the holy name. We have wampus. We have the mridanga. We have our voices. We have kartals. So we'll do this Panchatattva mantra again. But let's declare our victory. Since this kirtan is a little bit more in the mood of we are victorious. I've made superhero alter egos for like all of our different kirtaniyas. It's so almost looking at me and all I see is Thor, okay? So let's try it again with all of this help on our side. Hope is not lost. It feels incredible in the middle, but we're just in the middle. It will get better. So let's try again. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya
Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Jai Ho!
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
So sometimes during a retreat like this, we feel as though we did the brave thing and surrendered, and now our whole identity is being questioned. Everything that we thought we were is now in question. It's being moved and shifted and shaken up. So now let's sing again, showing our Lord that like Nitai, we understand that like you like to trouble your own people, but somehow we'll stay one more kirtan with the hope that it will get better. So we'll try again, everyone together.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Sachinandan Maharaj calls me the Kirtan lioness because usually, if I'm not sick, I'm usually yelling at the top of my lungs. And so if you have not screamed at the top of your lungs, then I have not done my Kirtan properly. So we're gonna try it again. And I need you to make up for whatever chest cold I have. I am depending on all of you. Okay? One more. Ready? Go! Yes.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Again, again, again.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
One more, one more, one more.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Again, again, again.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Everybody please chant. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama.
One more, one more, one more, one more.
Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Krishna. Everybody please chant.
One more, one more.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Krishna.
Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare
Rama, Hare Rama,
Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram